What's the key mindset to grow and thrive? There are many challenges to growing a thriving mid-sized company, as I've shared in this series of 5-minute growth videos. And sometimes it can feel like we're stuck, like there's nothing we can do. We may hide those thoughts and feelings from others or even deny them to ourselves that we have them. Yet, they still remain in the background of our thinking, gnawing away at our focus, our energy, our progress. This is an opportunity to check our thinking. Our thinking drives our actions, and our thinking can cause us to not take action. When we think there's nothing we can do about a problem, we'll naturally stand still on that issue. When we believe we can resolve it, we'll find a solution and drive forward. Organizational psychologists have researched these two ways of thinking, and they are part of what's called our locus of control. The first way of thinking is that our situation is controlled by things that happen outside of us. We believe we are a victim of circumstances. This is an external locus of control. The second way of thinking is that our situation can be influenced by what we do. We believe we can always do something that will make a situation better. That is an internal locus of control. Think of the word locus as location. Is our thinking putting the location of control of the situation outside of ourselves, external, or within ourselves, internal? As human beings, we tend to grow up with a tendency toward either an internal locus of control or an external one. We don't think exclusively one way or the other, but rather predominantly. We also don't necessarily think one way about everything. There can be areas of our lives and facets of our business that we treat with an internal locus of control mindset, and other areas that we tend to treat with an external locus of control. As entrepreneurs and business leaders, we often predominantly have an internal locus of control. We believe we can make things happen. However, we can also have an external locus of control in certain areas. For example, we might have an internal locus of control about getting more sales. We know that our actions directly influence our company's sales volumes, and we look for and find ways to increase them. Yet, we might have an external locus of control about being able to hire A players, for example. We may believe that there just aren't any really strong employees out there, or none of them are looking for work, or they all want too much money, or they all hide their faults in interviews, etc. By switching our thinking to an internal locus of control in this area, we can find solutions. We can ask ourselves, what is it that I'm doing that's getting in the way of hiring A players? Or what am I not doing? Or what am I not doing well? And from there, we can ask, what can I do differently to find A players? For example, do I have a clear description of what an A player will produce so I know exactly who I'm looking for? What am I doing to network with A players I know in my industry who likely know other A players? Have I shopped around for an excellent recruiting company who can help me find the right people? Have I strengthened my interviewing skills to discover candidates' true strengths, abilities, and qualities? Have I learned to do effective reference checks to get the perspectives of those who've seen the candidates in action? Believing we have influence over the situation causes us to look for solutions we can act on. There's also a way that an entrepreneur's strong internal locus of control in one area can actually create an external locus of control mindset in another area. I often see this struggle with CEOs and owners that I meet. They complain that they don't have enough time. This complaint is coming from an external locus of control mindset, the belief that their lack of time is happening to them. Note that all complaining and blaming is really a form of external locus of control. Now, when I invite a CEO or owner to flip their mindset to an internal locus of control and ask themselves what they are doing that is causing them to not have enough time, they realize that they are causing the problem. They often are attempting to tackle every problem and opportunity that comes up, and they are not delegating tasks and roles enough. In this way, as entrepreneurs, our internal locus of control about solving problems can cause us to have an external locus of control about time. Our tendency to think we can take control of any situation, like solving every problem, actually causes us to be so busy that we think we don't have control over our time. Yet we do. We just need to change how we tackle problems, for example, by equipping others to take care of them rather than solving them ourselves. This mindset is a key linchpin in growing a thriving mid-sized company. The only way to grow and grow profitably is to implement the structures, systems, and processes to enable that growth. This requires a leadership team that handles the day-to-day and can help with implementing many of those systems. These systems need to be guided by a solid strategy for competing in the market. That strategy needs to be executed efficiently, and efficient execution requires an A-player leadership team, as well as efficient buy-in to support accountability. And all of these business practices take time. You can see my previous 5-minute growth videos for more on these practices. But as a result, a CEO or owner will want to shift their mindset more fully to thinking about what they are doing or not doing that is causing them to be too busy to work on these practices. By doing so, they will get clear on what they need to do differently to free themselves up to shift increasingly from doing to leading. And more generally, the practice of internal locus of control will help any leader and their top team look at how they're contributing to a problem and what they can do to influence it. Another way leaders contribute to problems in their company is by trying to figure things out all on their own. We'll tackle that topic in my next 5-minute growth video, why a DIY approach slows growth. So, what else can you do to grow your mid-sized company? To find out what you and your leadership team could do to grow more easily, quickly, and profitably, and enjoy the ride, try our complimentary Agile Growth Checklist. This self-service questionnaire takes 5 to 10 minutes to complete. You'll receive the checklist with your responses immediately. Within 24 hours, you'll receive a compiled report highlighting areas to improve. Find out how your company is doing in each of the 7 areas needed to produce more rapid, profitable, and sustainable growth. This report is complimentary and involves no obligation. Just click the link below. I hope you found this useful, and we'll see you next time.